guys, Lee here, and today I am going to be making some low-carb freezer meals. I've got 10 meals here with plenty of leftovers. A lot of these will last for at least 2 meals and some lunches. So let me show you how I did it. I'm going to start off with my chicken soup. I'm going to make the chicken soup and then freeze it in these containers. And the reason I'm starting with the chicken soup is because almost all the ingredients are frozen and it's going to take forever. Well, not in the pressure cooker. So I'm adding in chicken. That's about 3 chicken breasts cut into pieces. I have 4 cups of chicken stock that is homemade that I made, and it's still frozen too. I didn't take it out in time to thaw, but it'll all be fine. I'm adding in 1 small onion that I'm keeping in big pieces so I can take it out because I want the flavoring from the onions, but I don't want the onions in there. Next, I'm adding in a bunch of celery. That's about 4 stalks of celery, I think. 1, 2, 3, yep. And a few carrots, not that many because, of course, carbs. Next, I'm adding in garlic powder. No set amount, just a lot because we like it really flavorful. And the thing is, once it's done, I will taste it again for seasonings, but, you know, just put a bunch in it first. A little bit of onion powder, even though there's an onion in there, I want more flavor. Black pepper. Sage. And I found this roast turkey seasoning in my pantry. It's pretty salty, so I'm not going to add a lot. I'm also not going to be adding any salt into this recipe until it's done, and you know, I can check then. I'm just going to put the top on it and set it. Set it to airtight. So I'm going to give this, I don't actually know how long because everything is frozen, but let's see, I will start it at 30 minutes and check it there. Oops, hit the wrong button. The next freezer meal I'm going to be working on is buffalo chicken soup. And here are the instructions on the bag. Thaw in the fridge, cook under pressure for 10 minutes, quick, depressurize, then add 1 cup of cream and 8 ounces of cheddar cheese. I got this nifty green thing on Amazon, and if I can find it, I will leave a link for you in the description box below. I already did a video on this recipe, and I will link it in the description box below so you can go and check that out. I added in 2 chicken breasts. They're still frozen and that's okay. Some celery, some onion. Missed some of that celery. Some garlic. Ranch dressing mix, butter. I ended up switching it to a bigger bag because I forgot I had to add 3 cups of chicken stock to the bag. This recipe also calls for 2 cups of cheddar cheese and 1 cup of heavy cream, and since those are added later, I'm going to actually probably freeze the cheese right along with this, and then we always have heavy cream on hand. All right, so this is what I decided to do. Since I had to change bags, I didn't write on the new bag, so I wrote on a Ziploc bag all the things I wrote on the other bag, and then I went ahead and sealed the big bag in my vacuum sealer, and then I put the 2 cups of cheese in the Ziploc bag, and I'm gonna freeze these together so that when we make this soup, we will have the cheese on hand. And we always have the shelf-stable cream, so that isn't an issue. So 1 down. Next meal up is chicken and sausage in the slow cooker. I just wrote on the bag, thaw in the refrigerator, crock pot 3 to 4 hours on low. 1 hour before serving, add 1 bag of frozen broccoli and 1 bag of cauliflower rice. Okay, so I've put 3 frozen chicken breasts in the bag. Now 1.5 cups of chicken stock, so I can do it without spilling it. 8 ounces of cream cheese. And yeah, you can freeze cream cheese if you're going to cook with it. It wouldn't be good in, you know, just like for spreading on bagels or anything. But if you're gonna cook with it, it'll be fine. And I forgot to mention that this recipe is also on my channel, and I will link it below as well. Then you need some garlic. We like lots of garlic. 1 small onion. Some spicy brown mustard, and I'm not gonna measure this. That looks good. Black pepper. And if you do want the measurements, they're on the other video. Next, you need some sausages, and I bought these at Sam's. I don't have the package anymore, so I don't know what they were called, but my husband thought they were kind of bland. So I'm just gonna add them into this recipe. And that's it for this bag. I'm just gonna seal it up, and then, like I said before, when you cook it, you add cauliflower, rice, and broccoli, and we always have those in the freezer anyway, so I don't need to store it with this bag. Next up is sausage and peppers. I just have these brats that I got on clearance at Target, so I'm making up 2 of these. So I put all 5 of the brats in the bag, and I'm totally cheating by using 1 package of fire roasted bell peppers and onions that I got at Trader Joe's, and it's 14 ounces, but you can certainly cut up some green peppers, red peppers, whatever kind of peppers you want, and some onions and throw them in. I'm not doing all that. Next, I'm adding in 1/2 cup of chicken broth, some garlic, black pepper. Forgot to show you the bag. I wrote on the bags, sausage and peppers thaw in the refrigerator overnight. Crock pot 5 to 6 hours on low. Next, I'm adding in some of this Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. And a couple of splashes of hot sauce. And that's it. Next, I'm going to be working on beef and broccoli, and again, thaw it in the refrigerator, 6 to 8 hours on low, and 6 to 8, 5 to 6 hours on low in the crock pot. 1 hour before serving, add a package of broccoli, serve over cauliflower rice. So I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 pounds of beef to this bag, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the beef in there, and I'm just using stew meat because that's what I have on hand. Next, I'm adding, again, cheating. You're just supposed to add onions, I mean not onions, but red and green bell peppers, but I don't feel like cutting them up, so I'm gonna use about 1/2 bag of this. It's gonna have a little onion in it, and it'll all be fine. 1/2 cup soy sauce, a teaspoon of ginger. I am just going to eyeball it. That looks like a teaspoon. 3 cloves of garlic. I'm just using this minced garlic, and again, that looks like 3 cloves of garlic. Add in some red pepper flakes. That's good. If it's not spicy enough when it's done, we can always add more heat to it then. And then I'm adding 3 tablespoons of this stevia sweetener. And that's it for this recipe. So the chicken soup is done now. Once the pressure cooker beeped, I did a quick release of the pressure. Then I took my containers, these containers, and I just put in some frozen cauliflower, riced cauliflower, frozen broccoli, and frozen green beans, just like a little bit in each one, and then filled it up the rest of the way with the chicken soup. Now I just need to let these cool, put the tops on them, and stick them in the freezer. I'm probably gonna leave one in the fridge because my husband will probably wanna eat it today. Okay, it's the next day, and I just have a few more recipes to do. So next I'm going to be doing beef stew. Thaw overnight in refrigerator, add to crock pot with 3 cups of water, and then low 6 to 8 hours. to put this in a bowl to see if this is better than the green thing I was using. I'm going to start off by adding 1.5 pounds of stew meat. Let's see if I can do this without touching it. Yes. Next, I'm going to be adding in 3 ribs of celery and 1 small onion diced. A couple of cloves of garlic. I'm just using that, that much. It's this garlic. Next, I'm going to add in 1 chopped up zucchini. I don't usually add zucchini to my beef stew, but I had this and I didn't want it to go bad, so I'm adding it in. For some extra flavor, I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of granulated garlic powder, whatever, some onion powder, ooh, or a lot, and black pepper. I'm also going to be adding in sage. This is actually my favorite spice in beef stew. I'm gonna pour in quite a bit. I would say teaspoon to 2 teaspoons, whatever makes you happy. Next, I'm adding in 4 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Oops, I'm making a mess with it. Actually, I'm just gonna add 3. And if it needs more, we can add it once it's cooked. I'm going to be adding a tablespoon of, probably a heaping tablespoon at that, of this better than bouillon, and that way we can just add water when we throw it in the crock pot. Next, I'm adding in 1 can of beef consommé. This is a 10.5 ounce can. If you don't have this, it's fine. It just has such great flavor and it adds really great flavor to the stew. But you can skip it. And 1 14-ounce can or 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes. I'm using fire roasted because that's what I have on hand. Now I'm just gonna seal this up and throw it in the freezer. All right, the next meal is cheeseburger soup, and you add 3.5 cups water to the crock pot, cook it on low for 3 to 4 hours. A half an hour before serving, you add 1 cup of heavy cream plus 2 cups of cheddar cheese. My hand smeared across that, so I just rewrote it, and then I almost forgot to write thaw in the refrigerator overnight. For this recipe, you need 1 pound of cooked ground beef. This is actually about 1.25 pounds that I already had cooked. It's close enough. Garlic powder to taste. We want a lot. And also you can adjust the seasonings afterwards. Onion powder to taste. A tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I never know if I'm saying it right, but it's close enough. Plus a little extra. 2 tablespoons of, it's upside down, tomato paste. That looks like 2. Again, a rounded tablespoon of better than bouillon. If you don't want to add this, just add 3.5 cups of beef stock instead of water when you put it in the crock pot. 1/2 cup of bacon bits. That looks like a half to me, just using a handful. Forgot the black pepper, so I'm gonna add that in. And 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk. And that's everything that goes in this bag. Okay, and the last recipe I'm doing today is low-carb chili. I have a video for this. It'll be linked. I think I'm gonna be doing a playlist, and that will be linked at the very end of the video on the end screen, and that way you can find all the recipes in this video in one place, all of my recipes anyway. So this says thaw in refrigerator overnight, 3 to 4 hours on high, 5 to 6 on low. We're going to start off by adding cooked ground beef, 2.5 pounds. Each of these has 1.25 pounds in it. One small onion, chopped up. 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just guessing because I'm using this. That's probably way more than 4, but it's okay. Now again, I don't normally add zucchini to my chili, but this is about a zucchini and a half. I was afraid it was gonna go to waste, so in it goes. Oops, I forgot to chop up a few pieces. All right. Next, you need 2 cups of beef broth. This is just the better than bouillon that I mixed up in some water. You need 6 ounces of tomato paste. 1 4-ounce can of diced green chilies. Oops, I'm spilling it. And I got the fire roasted. Oh, they're mild. I meant to get the hot ones, but it's okay. We can always adjust the seasoning later. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 2 tablespoons of cumin. Sorry about the dogs. They just make noise all the time. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Whoops. 1 teaspoon of oregano. 1/3 of a cup of chili powder. Well, that's close enough. That's close. 1 bay leaf. And to kick the heat up a little, I'm going to put in a few splashes of hot sauce. And that's it for this recipe. Okay, I am all done. And just as a recap, I have 1 chicken and sausage, 1 beef and broccoli, 1 chicken buffalo soup with the cheese frozen. And then I have 1 beef stew, which will last several meals easily. 2 sausage and peppers. 1 bag of chili that will again last quite some time, and a cheeseburger soup. And what I decided to do with the cheeseburger soup is I have all these vegetables left over from my 2 containers of chicken soup. There were 3, but we ate 1 last night, so we have only 2 left. So these vegetables were left over from the soup. I decided to go ahead and clip them onto the cheeseburger soup, and then as that's cooking, kind of closer to the end, I'll add in the vegetables. You could just cook the vegetables separately and then add them to the soup. Whatever, it doesn't really matter how you do it. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up for me, please, and subscribe to my channel. Oh, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook at Lee'sHome05. Thanks for watching. Bye.